We're getting closer to the end of the market day here and the end of the trading session, and it looks like we could go into the close maybe with some higher numbers for the grain market, and we'll have analysis as to why here in just a moment. First, let's bring you up to date on those latest numbers, and we'll start with the corn market. Right now, we've got September corn just fractionally higher, up a quarter, 344 and a quarter. New crop December corn up 3/4, 359 and a quarter. And July corn is up 1 at 386. September soybeans up 6.5, 697. November soybeans up 5 1/4, 973 3/4. All the way out to May, we've probed above that $10 psychological mark, 4 3/4 cents higher at 10.01. December Chicago wheat up 1 at 444. March Chicago wheat up 2, 465 1/4. That new crop, in case you're already pricing some of that new crop before you put any wheat in the ground, up 3.5, 490 3/4. Kansas City also higher today. December up 1, 446. The new crop July up 1 at 493 3/4. The story is in Minneapolis wheat today, and this market really took off like a rocket. December Minneapolis wheat up 12 3/4 right now, 641 3/4. July wheat up 6, 639 3/4. And for the cotton market, December down 58 points, 74.30. And July down 48 at 73.33. Let's talk to Todd Horwitz, who is there on the edge of the trading floor at the CME Group. He's with Bubba Trading. Well, this morning you were talking about optimism here in the market. We certainly got optimism in that Minneapolis wheat pit, don't we?
What do you say, John? Yeah, I mean, I think, look, we've got action here, and we felt that, excuse me, the lower opening would lead to higher prices, and of course I think we found some pretty good support. Minneapolis has probably got a little bit of a short squeeze going on there, and that would be the reason for that large movement compared to the rest. But again, I think that the whole complex looks really solid, really good here, and I'm looking to be a buyer. My only concern now is I think soybeans might have failed at 977, but again, they still look pretty good.
Are you concerned at all that this corn market's just barely hanging on to gains going into the close?
No, I think that it's fine. Again, I don't want to see that straight propulsion straight up. I like that they held here. I like that they opened lower and rallied to up higher. Again, they can go anywhere as long as they don't violate below the lows. I'm very comfortable and looking for higher highs and a bigger move to the upside.
The question is, between now and next week when we have that USDA report, do we have enough fodder to feed these bulls and keep taking those incremental steps?
Well, one of the problems is I'm not a big report guy to begin with, as I mentioned before, but I don't unnecessarily like the way that they even do the report, but I think that the price action and the markets will tell you where they really want to go, and I think they've well overdone it to the downside. Since the last USDA report, we had, I think, about 18 out of 20 days that were down. I think that is the end of it, and I think that we now look for higher prices and we start to work higher from here.
Todd, are the commodities as a whole becoming more and more attractive to outside money, do you think?
I think what's really happened, John, is we need to see the markets, the equity markets, break a little bit to take some of that money away from equities, because there is a lot of money that would come into the alternative space or the agricultural space if that would happen. As long as the equities continue to float higher, it's hard to find that new money. But I think those events are going to occur as well, which even gives me more reason to be bullish the grains.
Okay, so right now, not much of a weather market?
No, I don't think so. Again, I'm a real guy that just kind of watches the flow of money, and as you can kind of watch where the money's going, and I think that's the best guide, because that tells you what the guys are doing that already know and what they think they know. So I think that works out better that way.
Todd Horwitz here with us with Bubba Trading, and we'll be back with Todd in just a moment to talk about the livestock trade. That's next here on Market Day Report. For those of you who are joining us on Rural Radio, channel 147, Sirius XM, we just popped up a screen where confirmed we still don't have any real cash cattle trade as of yet, but could we trade at least steady money this week? Todd Horwitz with Bubba Trading in Chicago is here to talk about that. The futures here are just kind of almost looks like they want to just kind of ride sideways for a little bit to wait and see where this cash may form.
Well, I think, John, I think we've seen some nice action. We again tried to sell out this morning, and they held, and they're rallying. And the last I looked, they were, I think, 105.70 in the fats in October. I don't know where they are at the moment. But again, they look pretty solid, and they've seemed to found a nice bit of support. And I look to see more buying coming in from these support levels. So again, the markets will tell me ahead of time what all the outside noise is going to bring in. And I think that we're seeing buyers are starting to come in here. I think you're seeing some new money underneath here. We've tried to rally the last couple of days, and we've been able to hold the lows, which is very important that we don't make new lows.
Particularly with that nearby contract up around 109.
Exactly, and of course, in the feeders, the last I looked, they were up like $1.50, and I looked last, it was like about 143 or 144. They look really solid as well, and that's what we're looking for. Again, the whole foundation, the whole formation has changed over, and we're now pretty much in contango, and we lost all that backwardation we had coming into August, and now we're turning the other way, which is a more bullish sign as well.
Are we still quite a ways under resistance on that feeder cattle market, do you think?
Yeah, I think that you've got at least 150 before I'd even think of that we'd be at some resistance. I think you'll probably see maybe even the mid 150s. So I think we're headed higher. And again, it just depends how fast and how quickly we get there. But I do think we're going higher, and I think it's going to be a real good fourth quarter.
Okay. What about the product trade here? We were just slightly higher for the product here at the midday for the beef. Any optimism from that, or is that just kind of a non-player right now?
For me, it's really a non-player. You know, I grew up in the meat business. I grew up in the butcher shop and as a peddler, and those things don't mean as much as the overall, back to like we talked to the grains, the money flow and where it's going. That tells me more than what the sale that was already made or the cash prices are right now, because those are already dated as far as I'm concerned.
All right, what about this hog market? Can it maintain here through the end of the week, do you think?
I do. I think we talked about this morning. I said I'd like to see them pull back a little bit to like about 61 or 62, but I think they're going to go. I think they're going to make a run back near 70 before it's all said and done. And that's not typical for this time of year. But they look really solid, and they broke really early this year, and they broke really hard. So I think we look for a rally, and we look for them to go a little bit higher.
All right, a lot of information here, Todd. If folks want to contact you, ask questions, visit with you a little bit, what's the best way to do it?
You can email me at bubba@bubbatrading.com, and I'll answer all your questions. Would love to talk to you and love to have you on one of my webinars where I do a lot of information, all for free.
All right, fantastic. Todd Horwitz, Bubba Trading here, and be sure and join us tonight. We'll be talking to Todd again during our rural evening news that'll be coming up later on this evening, and by then we'll know where this market is really going to end up today as we keep a sharp eye on the close.
Yeah, Todd's one of those that watches the money flow, as he mentioned that over and over and over again. So it kind of tells you where the people want to go, buying or selling. So great to have him on our team. Thanks, Todd.